What's up guys, today I'm bringing you a moveset analysis on Gunk Greninja. This is a new series on which I'm working on, and I will be doing these videos for the new Mega Evolutions as well. So if you guys can, please leave a huge like, it will help this series a lot. Also don't forget to drop your suggestions in the comment section down below. So today we're taking a look at Gunk Greninja. Greninja has always been a big threat, and it's actually one of the most used Pokemon in OU. It has amazing speed and special attack, along with its ability Protean, which basically gives it a stab boost on every move it uses, and in Pokemon X and Y its best checks for Assault vs Azumarill and Clefable, which invested some special defense to prevent a 2-hit KO from Hydro Pump, and bulky fairy types like Sylveon were able to completely wall Greninja. However, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire there are some move tutors in the game which could teach your Pokemon new moves which they couldn't learn before, and Greninja now learns Gunk Shot, which basically means that its primary check, which was Assault vs Azumarill, is no longer a check, as now it can hit fairy type super effectively, and even with no attack investment, with the help of Life Orb and its ability Protean, Greninja can OHKO standard Assault vs Azumarill and specially defensive Sylveon, as well as 2-hit KOing 96 per Def EV's Clefable, and with this buff, there are almost no solid checks or counters left to Greninja, and now it's even a bigger threat. The EVs for this set is max special attack, max speed, and 4 attack EVs. Naive nature is chosen over hasty nature because naive is plus speed and minus special defense, while hasty is plus speed and minus defense. And since most of the priority moves are physical moves like Aqua Jet, Extreme Speed, and Bullet Punch, you shouldn't really be sacrificing your defense, so that's why naive nature is preferred. For its item, you should be running Life Orb, since Greninja really needs the extra power from Life Orb, and you shouldn't be running anything like Expert Belt or Focus Sash over Life Orb because it really needs the power from Life Orb, like I said. So Life Orb it is, and moving on to its moveset, in the first move slot we have Gunk Shot. This is a 120 base power physical poison type move which has 80% accuracy, and it does have 30% chance to poison your opponent, and I will be leaving all of the Gunk Shot damage calcs in the description down below so that you guys can check it out yourself and see how much powerful this move is versus fairy types. So next up we have Hydro Pump, which is Greninja's most powerful viable move. I guess you could run Surf over Hydro Pump if you do not want to miss, but Hydro Pump is preferred as you can get kills on certain Pokemon if you're running Hydro Pump, which you obviously cannot if you're using Surf, so that's why Hydro Pump is a must. Then we have Ice Beam, which can be used to hit threats like Salamence, Garchomp, Thundurus, and many other mons. You can definitely run Greninja's other coverage move over this lot, but Ice Beam is a really good move to hit Grass, Dragon, and Flying types, and with so many Mega Salamences running around, you definitely want to run Ice Beam so that you can revenge kill those. And finally, the last move slot is for Greninja's coverage move. You basically choose the move which your team needs the most. For example, if your team is weak to Mega Slowbro, you could run Dark Pulse. If your team has trouble with Ferrothorn and Scizor, you can run Hidden Power Fire, which most of the players usually run because Ferrothorn is a really common Pokemon, and if you do not run HP Fire, then Ferrothorn completely walls Greninja, so nobody wants to get walled by such a common Pokemon, so most of the people like me run HP Fire. But last but not least, you can also run Extra Sensory, which can be used to hit Mega Heracross, Mega Venusaur, Keldeo, and Conkeldurr, which no one uses right now. Everyone uses HP Fire in the last move slot, but the choice is yours. You can choose whatever move you want. There are some other options as well which you can use in Greninja's last move slot, like Hidden Power Grass, Spikes, Low Kick, or U-Turn. HP Grass can be used to hit Rotom Wash, and Spikes can be useful as Greninja has the ability to force switches, and it can easily stack up the layers of Spikes. Low Kick is also a new move tutor move which Greninja learns in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which can be used to hit Empoleon and Chansey, one of its true counters, but I wouldn't recommend you running Low Kick since you basically do the same damage to Chansey which you do with Gunk Shot anyways, which I believe is 40% max. And the thing is that you also take Iron Barb's damage if you try to hit Ferrothorn using Low Kick, and HP Fire is a much better option to hit Ferrothorn. It does more damage. And finally we have U-Turn, which can be used to keep up the offensive momentum, and in the end it's your choice to decide which move your team needs most on your Greninja. And now let's move on to the next section of this video, which is counters and checks. Now before I get into this, I just want to tell you guys the difference between checks and counters, because I've heard people say that Mega Manectric is a counter to Greninja, which is not true. A check is a Pokemon which, if given a free switch, can kill the opposing Pokemon every single time. For example, Mega Manectric is a check to Greninja. It can easily outspeed Greninja and kill it every single time, but it cannot come in on a Hydro Pump or Ice Beam. It will just die or it will take a lot of damage, so therefore it's only a check, it's not a counter. And a counter is a Pokemon which can come in on every single attack of opposing Pokemon and then take one more attack from the same Pokemon and then also bring it down. For example, Chansey is a counter to Greninja. It can come in on every single attack that Greninja throws at it, and then it can just wish up and kill Greninja with multiple seismic tosses. So that's a counter, and there is a significant difference between check and counter. So with that being said, I hope that I've cleared up the confusion between checks and counters. And as for Greninja, there are only two counters to Greninja which are usable in the OU tier, and those two mons are Chansey and Empoleon. Even though Empoleon is in the UU tier, it can be used in OU as it provides great utility because it does have access to Stealth-Rocks, Defog and Roar, and Empoleon does have a fantastic matchup versus Pokemon like Azumarill, Latios and Latias, so Empoleon can definitely be used in OU. Then we have Chansey, which is on every single stall team, and it can just eat up any hit from Greninja, and Greninja isn't really a big deal to stall teams anyways. However, it can completely wreck offensive and balanced teams if you do not have appropriate check to it, and for that reason I have a list of checks which you can check out if you like to run offensive or balanced teams. So these are the Pokemon which can check Greninja just because they have higher base speed than Greninja, and if they are given a free switch they can easily kill it, and even Choice Scarf users like Landers T can revenge kill Greninja pretty easily. And Pokemon which have strong priority moves like Choice Banded Dragonite and Life Orb Breloom and many more are also great checks to Greninja. Now here I have a list of checks to Greninja which depend on its moveset. Only if Greninja lacks a coverage move to hit these Pokemon, then only these Pokemon become checks to it, and basically these Pokemon are situational checks. They do not check Greninja always, and you first need to scout for which coverage move the opposing Greninja is carrying. For example, if it's carrying Dark Pulse, then Keldeo, Specially Defensive Scizor, Ferrothorn and Tentacruel can check it. If it's carrying Extra Sensory, then Mega Slowbro, Starbreaker Mew, Specially Defensive Scizor, and Specially Defensive Jirachi as well as Ferrothorn can check it. And last but not least, if it's carrying HP Fire, which it usually does, then Keldeo, Mega Slowbro, Starbreaker Mew and Tentacruel can check it. And if you're running a Rest Talk Calm Mind Mana Feed, then it can just set up on the opposing HP Fire Greninja, which is fantastic. And one more Pokemon can check Greninja pretty well, which is Assault Vescurum, but because it's weak to Stealth-Rocks and because it does not have any kind of way of getting its HP back, people usually don't run Assault Vescurum. However, it does have its own niche and it can be a great Greninja check in the current metagame. There are some other ways of dealing with Greninja as well, which I have mentioned here. Getting up Stealth-Rocks is pretty useful since Greninja doesn't appreciate the residual damage every time it comes in, and it is easily worn down by Stealth-Rocks plus its own Life Orb. You can also Life Orb stall it by making pivot switches. For example, if your opponent sends out a Greninja on your Heatran, that means that he's definitely going for the Hydro Pump, so you can make a pivot switch into a Rotom Wash, and then from there if he tries to go for the HP Grass or Dark Pulse on your Rotom, you can make a pivot switch back into your Heatran, and this way you can effectively wear it down with its own Life Orb recall. And Pokemon with strong priority moves like Conkeldurr and Bisharp can threaten Greninja, and Prankster T-Wave users like Klefki and Thundurus can cripple Greninja as well. So that was it for this video, guys. I hope you liked this moveset analysis. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.